So, hey everybody, welcome to the Squeak Doctor. This is DJ Serena. I have the pleasure of sitting down tonight with Alexis of Straight Line Stitch. We actually have a phone interview, which is kind of cool. So, hey, I want to say thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show and this interview. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about Straight Line Stitch?
Straight Line Stitch has, well, first of all, thanks for having me. And Straight Line Stitch has been around for quite a while. I think the band was, before me, they started around, I think, 99, and I joined around 2004. And since then, we've had a kind of a revolving door of members. But we're still at it, and we're just about to release some new music here in a bit. We haven't released any new music in 4 years, but we've still been around. We've still been touring and stuff, but we're just about to release some new music, so we're excited.
That's awesome. That's really freaking awesome. Where did you meet everybody?
Where did I meet everybody? That's kind of a hard question. Because everybody kind of hails from everywhere, you know. We've had members, oh my gosh, all the way from and this has been in the past, from Dominican Republic, from Chicago to Missouri.
Oh, Chicago. That's awesome. Yeah. That's where we are.
Yeah, we've had members that lived there, you know, at one point in time. But right now, the band is kind of based, you know, Tennessee and St. Louis, Missouri. So we kind of met, people through touring and, by friends, things like that, other bands.
Oh.
So we kind of come together through different channels.
Cool. Okay, now, maybe you haven't heard this question before. Maybe you have. I try to make a silly question because, you know, I like making people laugh, especially because it's one of those things that makes people comfortable talking to me. Where did the band's name come from? Does it have anything at all to do with the Fuzzy Little Disney Alien?
No, actually, the band, again, is before my time. But as far as I know, I was always told that it was misinterpreted lyrics. I think one of the members were listening to, either a Slipknot song or an Eminem song, and thought that they said Straight Line Stitch. Of course they didn't, but they thought it was cool, and I guess they ran with it. So that's the history of our band name.
See, and I was hoping to make you smile just a little bit, because the cute little fuzzy Disney alien is kind of pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, I wish it was more interesting like that, but...
Okay, now, maybe we could talk a little bit about inspiration. Where do you find the band's inspiration comes from?
Definitely the band's inspiration comes from living life and experiencing things. You know, that I believe is our greatest inspiration, you know, is nothing like living something and being able to share it with another person, another human being, and they understand it, they can connect and relate to it. So that's our biggest inspiration, is the experience of life.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Because, I listened to, a lot of this stuff, literally about 5 years ago, and I just, whoa, I really like this. Hey, dude, this chick has a freaking awesome set of vocals. And that's what brought me to Straight Line Stitch. Is the songwriting a collaboration with everybody? What happens first? Does someone play a riff and you add lyrics to it, or vice versa?
Well, actually, nowadays everything is so technology and stuff. Our members, we all have computers and things like that. They're always writing. They always have these programs on the computers, like Pro Tools or Reaper and stuff like that. And pretty much what we do is, because, like I said, we're some of our members are out of state or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So usually they record their ideas and, we'll send emails back and forth of music and things like that. And just everybody's layering it, adding their ideas or taking away or whatever. And eventually we'll get together physically, and then we'll rehearse it, and then, kind of dissect it, and then kind of bring it to life. Mm-hmm. Usually what happens is after they're done with the music, they'll throw it to me, and I'll go off, my little corner, and then I'll write to it. And then after that, then we kind of get together and bring it to life.
That's really awesome. I have never heard it explained like that. Like, usually someone's like, oh, it's a little of this, it's a little of that. Okay, well, what's a little of this and a little of that? You just, like, totally opened up a new door, and that's amazing.
Well, we're a little bit unconventional, but, you kind of have to find how to make things work when you're not around each other all the time. Because even when we're on the road and stuff like that, and we'll still use our computers and things like that, but, it's definitely great being able to have these programs for when we're not around each other, we just still collaborate with one another.
That's awesome. And okay, so granted, you just mentioned kind of like sometimes maybe like you guys will write when you guys are apart. What do you guys do to stay, as a band, stay tight knit, like other than just the songwriting and the collaboration?
Oh, so I'm sorry.
What do you guys like? I mean, because you said that some of the band like is far apart from each other. What do you do when you guys are not on the road together? What do you do to stay tight knit?
What do we do? Well, we usually always keep each other in loop. Communication is key. We try to learn that through trial and error, where people don't feel like they're not getting enough information. So, we try to keep everybody abreast on everything that's going on. We definitely send emails, and just let everybody, just keep everybody in the loop.
Right.
So we're always talking, we're always communicating, and that's pretty much how everybody in the band stays in the now, stays on the same page, stays on one accord.
Right. I guess my next question would be, as a band, what do y'all do to stay grounded on the road?
What do we do to stay grounded on the road? That's a good question. What do we do? Well, I know for myself, I try to definitely keep, I'm a Christian, so, I'm not a perfect Christian, but, I definitely pray and, try and keep my eyes focused on God and stuff, and that keeps me grounded. I think we all just kind of keep in touch with family, and we're just normal people. There's not much that we do. We focus on our job, on what we need to do, what we need to get done, and we do it. It's nothing crazy. I think everybody has their own little vices that they do to keep them grounded while we're touring and stuff. So, as far as myself, it's, definitely prayer, things like that. And it's not always easy being out on the road.
Mm-hmm. Once again, I've never heard it explained like that. Some people just be like, oh, hey, we get in fights. Okay. I don't know if I want to put that on air.
Wow.
So I like hearing your perspective of everything, and it's just like, oh, hey, that's really awesome. Yay. My next question would be, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on tour? Did you ever come to, like, a point where you thought you might not make it to the next city?
We've had those times where we, something happened with the band or something like that, but I think the craziest thing that happened to me, on the road, has been I've always had, hair malfunction. I've always did something crazy with my hair. I'm, I guess, a natural, so I usually keep my natural hair is usually braided in a protective style.
Okay.
And to do that, I usually I'll wear weaves or I'll do sew-ins or like that stuff that's just sitting on top of my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the last tour that we did at the beginning of it, I had what you call they call it a foot weave, and that's where my hair is pretty much braided underneath or gel down, and then they glue my hair on, on a stocking cap, and it sits on my head, and it's supposed to not go anywhere. But I move around a little bit more than most, especially while performing. And when that happened, the first show, I felt the hair, coming off. And I was like, no! But that always happens to me. I've always had these some type of hair malfunction, with, my hair either, coming off, or it's just, usually it's coming off. I'm always nervous with my hair coming off or getting raggy or falling out. It's just, craziness with my hair. So that's been like definitely as far as malfunctions and stuff and things that happen to me in a relationship, usually my hair.
I was actually later in the interview actually going to tell you that I love your hair, and like, because I do. I mean, I was showing my 13. I have a 13-year-old, and I was showing because he was asking me last week. He's like, Mom. He's like, who are you interviewing? I'm like, well, her name's Alexis. I'm like, and she's from this band called Straight Line Stitch. And he's like, oh. And then he was like, Mom, she's really beautiful. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
and then he was like, Mom, he's got really cool hair too. I said, I know, dude, she totally does. And because there was a couple of like where you had like your braids and it was purple, and I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I was looking to see if you had any pink, because that's actually my favorite color, but I didn't see any when I was doing a Google search.
I think I've done like every color of the rainbow. And yeah, I used to wear the braids like a long time. I know people miss the braids. They always tell me to bring them back. And sometimes I do them, but I used to wear the braids, but they were heavy and then like windmilling, circle, like doing the helicopter with my hair and stuff. And it was a pain with my neck, and the braids were heavy, and then my hair was kind of starting to break off a bit. So, like I said, I wanted to protect my natural hair because they were extensions. So I decided to give it a break and do something different. So that's what I went to. Like, I've done all kinds of things with my hair, but I usually try to protect my hair. Like, I love to be able to, like, dye my hair or cut my hair in different styles, but it would ultimately damage my hair. Mm-hmm. So that's why I usually do, like taped hair and things like that, because I get to have more fun and experiment with colors and things like that and not damage my real hair.
Of course. I can definitely understand from my own point of view with hair like that. I've got some crazy hair myself. I really do. It's okay.
What is your hair like?
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
I have Mufasa hair.
Like lines in there?
It's definitely like I guess you could say like it would be like Mufasa or Scar's like lion mane, like if it was froed out. So, yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. So, okay, I do have another question, like about y'all. Like when you're like on tour, what's the silliest thing you guys have done out of sheer utter boredom?
Sheer utter boredom. Let's see. It's always the hurry and wait game, especially at early loaded. The silliest thing we've ever done. I think at one time I remember them having like these fake like little toy bats. Mm-hmm. And the bats that have like they have a little hole at the bottom of them.
Right.
Well, they would fill them with beer, and then they would like put their head on the bottom of it and like spin around and spin around and spin. Well, they would spin around. What is it? I think they would chug it. They would chug the beer that was in the bat, and then like go down and like go in a circle. Like if they got busy, like a couple times they shine it off, and then they would like another band would like pitch something, and they would have to hit it. I mean, it's weird. It's like I can't explain it. It's like drinking baseball or something, and it's weird because you have to chug the beer out of the baseball bat, and then you have to spin around, so you're really busy and you're like uncoordinated. Somebody throws something, and you have to hit it, and it's just kind of fun. It's like the silliest thing I think I remember us doing at one point in time, besides like taking out like the cornhole boards and like playing cornhole.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I've never actually really been good at that game myself, but I can tell you one of our other
I'm not either.
He's really good at that.
I'm not either.
I'm terrible at it. It's that whole hand-eye coordination from like a further distance. If it's up close, and I can definitely hit somebody. I got you. So, is there anything that you do to mentally prepare yourself from being away from home so long?
Is there anything that I do to mentally prepare myself for being away? Like I said, I definitely pray, and then when I'm on the road, I definitely keep in touch with family and stuff like that. I make sure You know, if I don't call every day, at least like every other day, I will try and make contact with my family, make sure everybody's okay and doing well.
Sure, sure. Um, and maybe I could ask you a question about like when you were younger. How old were you when you first took voice lessons?
Oh, actually, I never feel like I've never taken voice lessons, like, so to speak. Like, when we did, Skies Wash Ashore, I worked with Miss Across, you know, for like, I think 2 sessions. And she helped me with, you know, being able to belt out, you know, to get ready to record the album. She helped me with a few things. But I never really officially ever took voice lessons. I always wanted to, you know, so everything I learned was pretty much kind of self-taught. And I'm still, like, learning, you know, I don't feel like I haven't got comfortable with, you know, my vocals and stuff. I always feel like I can do better, I can be better. But, yeah, I've been singing since, gosh, I can't remember. It's just something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid, which is weird because I'm totally shy when it comes to, like, people and, like,
Are you really?
entertaining. I would never, yeah, I am terrified of people. Even, like, I've been playing for years, you know, I've been in this band almost 12 years, and I still get stage fright. I still get terribly nervous, terribly scared. But, you know, it's something that I just always had a dream of, like, being a performer, entertainer.
Totally. I can understand where you're coming from. I know when I first started DJing, it's like, oh, hey, it's time to talk. And then I start fumbling my words, and then I started laughing, and then laughing became my thing. So I can totally get where you're coming from.
I do that a lot, too. I get nervous when I start laughing. I can't help it.
It's a girl thing, I think.
I think so, too.
I agree. Where do you find a healthy mix between the growl that we hear in Promise Me to the amazingly beautiful vocals that we hear throughout the music?
You mean how do I, like, I don't know. It's all based on the song. It's the structure of the song. Mm-hmm. I just think that, you know, I'm just like, I'm going to scream here, I'm going to sing here, sing there, scream there. You know, it's pretty much how I listen to the song, and it strikes me a certain way. If I feel it a certain way, that's how I usually, like, that's how it comes out. You know, it's not really planned. It's not like scream here, sing there, scream, 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 sing, scream. You know, it's definitely, the song really pretty much dictates what I do.
Okay. I wondered, and I had to definitely wonder, like, you know, because it's just like when I first heard Promise Me, which was the song that brought me to be addicted to Straight Line Stitch, as well as one of my loyal listeners, Mr. Jack himself. We had to wonder where, like, the growl mix came in, because it was like, okay, where like, and that makes sense, like, it's not planned. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's good when I'm playing with my growls and stuff. Like, I don't know, like, it's not something that I, like, how to explain it. It's like my growls, like, I taught myself how to do it, and I just I'm still learning, I guess. The best way to put it is I'm still learning, because I always feel like, you know, like I said, I just want to be better. So it's not something I feel like I'm amazing at, you know. I try to do the best I can, you know.
I think like, you're doing amazing, but that's
the song dictates it, I guess.
And maybe another question about when you were younger. How old were you when you played your first show?
Oh gosh, I played my first show when I was probably about, I did like, me and one of my best friends, my good friends, Dustin, he's actually in Denver Trauma now, he's the bass player. But I was in a band with him first, and before we even had a band together, it was me and him, and I told him I'd never put him before. He took me down to this pub, like, when I think I was 14. I want to say I was 14 or 15, and he took me down to this pub, and we played an acoustic song, and I was terrified, but I think I was 14 or 15 when I first performed live, other than, like, you know, the school talent show, and, I sung, but I sung like a Deborah Cox song or something. So like
That's really
forever
cool.
ago.
That 14's a long time ago for sure. That's amazing.
Oh God, yes it is. Long time ago, not old age.
I can relate. That's 21 years ago for me.
It's a long time. Me too. I'm like, what is it, gosh? Sometimes I can't remember my own age. Maybe I try to block it out. I'm just like, oh God. I'm just like, yo, I'm that old.
And were your parents supportive then and now, like when you were that age playing your first show?
My mother has always been super supportive. Even when nobody else would support me. Her and my brother have been like supportive from day one. My dad, however, I definitely had to prove myself a bit to my dad, and I don't think that was necessarily because he didn't like approve it, but he wanted to see if it was something that, it's just a phase, because you can be doing having a real job and going to school and fees and stuff and not really going in, in the music thing and you're not really serious about it, But after he saw that, we got our first like record deal and stuff like that, and he saw that, man, she is serious about it. He got behind me, and he's been like, other than my mother and my brother, he's been my number one champion. Like go for it, do it, So they've been super supportive. I'm blessed. My whole family has actually been, they support from my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, and just go like people. They call me a rock star. They're so ridiculous, but that's how they view me. So,
yeah,
very, very supportive.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I like hearing that. It just makes me smile to hear all that. It really, truly does.
I'm blessed.
What?
Oh, I'm definitely blessed, for sure.
Yes, ma'am. And when starting out, did you expect to get this far?
That was always the goal. That was always the dream. I expected, I don't know what I expected. I think when I was really young, I think I was very naive, because I think I expected, like, we're going to get signed, we're going to tour, we're going to make all this money, I'm going to buy my mom a house, I'm going to buy me a house, and, I kind of thought that, I was going to travel all over the world, we're going to be famous, I thought really like a child, and then, to really be in it and experience that, it's definitely not anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, I guess my expectations changed a bit. It had to become more realistic. So yes and no. I did believe I would get far in this. Was it how I thought it was going to be? No, and we're still pushing. Because the dream is still there. The dream is to, like I said, I've become a little bit more realistic, and it's more so now. I care more about getting our music out there rather than like trying to be this rock star and make all this money. And of course, I still love to put on house and stuff like that. But it's more so grounded as far as like I just want our band to be a staple in the music industry. I want people to know who we are. I want to become a household name. So the expectations, yes and no.
Awesome. That's really, really awesome. Maybe a question about, because we talked about your hair. Maybe a question about like your personal style when it comes. Where do you find your personal style comes from when you go on stage?
Oh gosh, it's with everything in the music industry being so very gimmicky. Everybody's got their own, something to sell, and maybe how they look or how they perform. With us, I don't know if it's considered now, nowadays unconventional just to be like who we are, just us. We don't really have a gimmick. We don't, and I don't know if that's boring or whatever or what have you, but my style as far as like going on stage to perform, I don't really have a style. You know, I put on jeans and a t-shirt. I might wear black some nights. I might wear black and white some nights. I might wear, you know, jeans and a band t-shirt. It's just all in how I feel and what I want to wear when I go on stage that night. You know, it's more about I have to give these people a performance. You know, and I know it does have, you know, a lot to do with, you know, engrossing people and giving people a show and entertaining people, and a lot of that does have to do with image. But I'm hoping that, you know, the music comes off than people needing to see my skin, or, you know, people wanting me to come off and look like I look in a Velvet or Hottest Chicks in Rock. You know, I'm wanting the music to more surpass those things.
Right. And what do you think of when you see a lot of the girls copying your style, like when they're in the crowd?
Oh, you know, like the girls like looking like me or
Yes, ma'am.
mimicking me? Is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's definitely inspiring. You know, I'm not going to say that it's not. I think it's like, it's always nice when somebody looks at you and they feel that you're important enough that they want to kind of, you know, embody you in some type of way. It's definitely, it's flattering. Would I encourage it? I would encourage every woman to be themselves and find something unique about themselves, because there is ultimately something unique about them. They don't have to copy me, you know, because there's something special about them. Mm-hmm. But I do find it flattering. I think it's very endearing, you know, sweet.
That's awesome. That's cool. I saw it at another show. I saw a girl walking around dressed like Taylor Momsen one day, and I just kind of had to ask, like, does her mom know she wore that out one day? And then I see, like, someone like yourself who actually wears, like, you know, jeans and a T-shirt and, you know, kind of does, like, the grunge look, which is the era that I grew up in. And I'm like, oh, hey, that's awesome.
You know, I just, as being a young girl, I totally understand that I did it because, you know, when I was younger, I was, like, in love with porn. Like, I wanted to be Jonathan Davis. I wore Adidas. Everything that he did, like, I tried to be it. I wanted to be it. And that is until I learned to find my own identity. So I guess, you know, everybody needs, you know, or feels like they need something to start off with until they find who they really are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's normal, I guess, to, like, you know, look at somebody else and feel like, oh, man, you know, there's something special about them that I want, you know, and then you kind of mimic that or whatever. I think everybody, especially younger kids, do that, and that is until they find their own identity. So I think it's natural. It's harmless, you know.
You know, maybe this is one more question about, like, the music. Can you tell us about the song Barroom Brawl? Where did the inspiration from that come from?
Barroom Brawl, that was kind of just a crazy, like, I think we were recording with Big Chicago in Ohio. I think we went out to a bar, and I don't know, this drunk girl tried to, like, start some mess. She kept hitting, like, my band member and not saying excuse me, and it's, like, really making me mad. And I think I said something to her, like, you know, excuse you, and she automatically, like, started taking off her shirt and, like, not her shirt, but her jacket, and pulling off her earrings, like she wanted to fight me. And it was like, really? And then I was the one that ended up getting dragged out the bar. So it was just something funny that I kind of put together called it Ballroom Brawl, because that was kind of what I thought of the situation. I was like, there's a ballroom brawl. Of course, we didn't fight, but...
Well, no, you know, yeah, no, I don't like, I feel the same way. I do the same exact thing. Excuse me works.
Yeah, people, you know, a lot of people just don't have manners nowadays, but you have to love people regardless, you know, you really do. I try. I get mad, especially driving and stuff, like, people make me so angry because they just have no type of, like, morals or anything, but you have to realize everybody's different, you know, and you just have to accept that, you know, especially what we do. We meet all types of walks of life, so you just have to be nice to everybody regardless of how they are, how they come at you.
I'm with you 100%, 175% if you truly ask me. You have to be nice, and sometimes you don't want to. It's not fun.
Yes, it's hard. It's definitely hard. But, at the end, I feel like it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe this question is personable. Person. Bleh, I can't even say it right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Personal. But when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? Music? Oh God, I need coffee. Or oh shit, the dog needs to go out.
Usually the first thing I think about is thank you, Lord, for letting me see another day. I try to really give thanks for seeing another day. That's like the first thing I really try to do. And then sometimes, I'm not perfect. A lot of times my dog will wake me up and he's like, she's got to go to the bathroom. And that's like the first thing I have to do. She's got to go to the bathroom. She will hit me and she's like, wake up, I got to go to the bathroom. But usually, I say, God, thank you, Lord Jesus, for waking me up. That's like the first thing I try to do when my eyes first pop open.
That's awesome. Yay! I like knowing that about people because, it tells me, oh, hey, this person thinks about, music because I had talked to somebody else from across the pond. And, well, yeah, no, the first thing I think about is music. I don't know, maybe he was shining me on. So I like to know, actually, what a person thinks about when they wake up. I don't know. It's weird. I'm sorry.
That's a good question. I've never got that question before.
My first thing is I need coffee. Don't talk to me until I've had coffee.
I think one of our members before used to be, he was insane coffee drinker. So, yeah, I think that was on his mind. He was always, gotta have coffee.
One question I tend to ask in a lot of interviews is, could you see Straight Line Stitch being in or on Family Guy, American Dad, or South Park? And do you have a preference?
I've never ever thought about that. But if we did get something like that, my preference would definitely be American Dad, because that's my favorite out of the ones that you named. American Dad is my favorite. I don't know, the show is funny. And it's like my mom got me hooked on it. My mom and my brother. So
yeah,
definitely American Dad.
American Dad's actually my favorite too. If the other things are on the TV, I tend to turn it off.
Yeah. It's a funny show. It actually really makes you laugh, and it's so silly. It's so silly, but it's funny. I like it a lot.
Finally, I have one last question for you. I personally always like to give the interviewee a chance to flip the table and ask me a question or two. So is there anything that you'd like to ask?
Is there anything I'd like to ask?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm trying to think. There's nothing I would like to ask. Well, I would like to ask people if they would be so kind enough to pick up our new album, which is dropping, in June on the 30th. I would like people to ask people if they would pick it up.
Absolutely.
Across the country, yeah.
You have that as a promise. As soon as I get my hands on the new music when it's available to download on Amazon, I will be doing just that.
That would be awesome. You have no idea how much we appreciate it.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about Straight Line Stitch? Anything we can't find on the interweb?
I guess basically I always try when we end interviews and stuff is to really thank our fans, old and new. I just want to thank, everybody that's supported this band and continues to support this band, because without them, we would not be here. We wouldn't still be doing this if it wasn't for them. So I guess, in many ways, all our success goes, majority to them. So I just want to thank them and tell them that I love them, and, this would not be possible without them.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I really do, because there's not many people that say thank you anymore. And you were so right earlier, and I love hearing what you just said. I won't.
Well, it's a big part of who we are is our fans. Without them, we would still be, playing music to nobody. So I don't understand how fans can forget their fans. That's not common sense to me. You know, you have to thank the hand that feeds you. You know, like, you can't sit there and get on your high horse and be this rock star and be like, well, you know, thanks to myself and my you know, my band members and stuff, and not thank your fans. You know, like, your fans keep the band together, so they keep us in work.
Right.
So that they have a right to be, you know, they're the real rock stars to me in my book. You know, they're the ones that should be more so, I guess, how do you say it? Put on a pedestal, I guess. I don't know if put on a pedestal might be the wrong word, but
maybe
you know, they
maybe a soapbox or
get the accolades.
Maybe
they should get accolades.
There we go. I won't keep you too much longer. I know it's about 5:30, so I'm sure it's probably dinner time for you, and you're probably in Tennessee. Am I right?
I am in Tennessee, and I am not doing anything but washing clothes because I'm just trying to get ready for tour.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to keep you too much longer. I'm sure you're probably hungry. You should have some more stuff to do to get ready to go. I did notice on the band's Facebook page that you guys do have a tour coming up on June 14th. And
that is correct.
That's the first tour date that I could see. If you'll give me a moment, I'll look it back up again. Where was it?
Yeah, we're actually going on the Civil Unrest tour. We're embarking on the Civil Unrest tour with El Nino and a bunch of other kick butt bands. And we'll be on that tour from June to mid-July. But we'll be definitely, like, promoting our new EP, Transparency. And should be a lot of fun. You know, we were supposed to do a tour with El Nino a couple years back, and it fell through. And this will be our first time actually touring with them, and we're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. El Nino, I would probably give my favorite pair of shoes up to see you guys as well as El Nino on stage. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. So it's the heels, not the Chucks, that I would give up. Because you need the Chucks to go to the show. Otherwise, you're not going to be a happy camper later.
Yes. You need the Chucks over the heels.
Exactly. Alexis, I really, really want to say thank you. You heard it here first on the Squeak Factor, only on RadioRiff.com. This has been an interview with Alexis of Straight Line Stitch. Please definitely make sure you're checking out Straight Line Stitch on Twitter at twitter.com/SLSband1. Also, on the Book of Faces, so on their Facebook page is facebook.com/straightlinestitch. I couldn't find an Instagram for the band. Is there one that we can get out there to the fans?
There's not. The band doesn't have one, but Jason and I do. We have one. I think you can find Jason's. I'm not sure what his Instagram name is, but his name is Jason White. You can look up Jason White. If you know what he looks like, you'll find him. My Instagram is Lexi575. You can follow me. I would love that very much. And Darren's face, our bass player is on there too. I believe. Darren McKellen. I don't know how to say his last name. That's terrible.
That's okay.
You're like, how did you say my last name? But we're all on there, I'm sure. You just have to hunt for us.
Alexis, I really want to make sure I say an extra big, huge thank you, especially because you just gave me the last 40 minutes of your life. Thank you so much for everything.